So what we found is that some of the problem solving was a little bit more challenging for you. If you found that, then we'll do some stepping stone problems in this video. So the first one is, in order to make 10 chocolate cupcakes, 60 grams of chocolate is needed. If there is 300 grams of chocolate available, how many cupcakes can be made? So again, we highlight our key pieces of information. So our first ratio is going to be that, and our second ratio is going to include this amount here. And again, we're using cupcakes just because we were going with the theme today. So we write our first ratio, our known ratio of 10 to 60. Now we could simplify it if we wanted to. But at this point in time, we're not being asked to, and the numbers that we're dealing with are going to work out quite nicely anyway. So our second ratio is 300 grams of chocolate to an unknown number of cupcakes. So we go, okay, well, what did I do to the 60 to get it to 300? To work out what I multiplied it by, because I must have multiplied in this instance, I go and I solve on my calculator. 300 divided by 60, which actually gives us 5. We've multiplied by 5. So we take the other side and we multiply by 5, which gives us 5 times 10, which gives us 50 cupcakes. Again, worded problem, so we need to make sure our answers are worded. 300 grams of chocolate will make 50 cupcakes. We then had a cordial example, and again this one's slightly different to what we had on the board today, just to make it a bit of a story as opposed to what we had. We highlight our key pieces of information. So we need to read it the first time we read it through. So Murray buys a new brand of cordial in a 2-litre jug that states it will make a total of 10 litres. He wants to make a 250 ml glass of drink. How much cordial does he need? How much water will he need to add? Now that second part is actually kind of the challenge part, because we've talked about parts and wholes. So in order to get to that part, we actually need to deal with the information we've been given to begin with. So in this instance, we've got a part to total. So what we do is we take our information that we've been given. 2 litres makes 10 litres. So this is a 1 to 5. Now, if we wanted to, we are making this one here into millilitres, and we've started with litres. And again, we could change it so it became 2,000 millilitres to 10,000 millilitres, and then we work from there. We need to work out how many 250 millilitres go into 10 litres. Now another way that we can do this, and you might do it, and it's all perfectly okay because it is actually problem solving, is understanding that 250 is a cup, and in 1 litre there are 4 cups. So if there are 4 cups in each litre, it means we're ending up making 40 250 ml cups. So we can do it a couple of different ways. We're going smaller this time. So what it's saying is that and I'm going to actually simplify it as well. So I'm going to say that it's a 1 to 5. And it doesn't matter what units we use, because we're going to say, okay, well, we need to then make 250. What did we do to the 5 to get 250? And how much cordial do we need? So how do we get from 5 to 250? We work out how many times 5 goes into 250. So I go over here and I divide 250 by 5. And that gives me 50. Which means we need to multiply this side by 50. So the answer is Murray needs to use 50 milliliters of cordial to make 250 ml drink. Now, what we can understand here in terms of that's a part to total. We now need to work out how much water we need to add to that to make it a part to part. So if we say that the total number of parts is 250, we subtract our number of cordial, which gives us a total of 200 milliliters of water needed. Now, the last problem we've got is the one that we started and didn't quite get to finish in class. And I've modified it slightly because some people did finish it. So Chloe came up with the idea that we had a hot jam donut truck. She said that we needed to put 30 mils. She didn't say that, she said 20, but I thought we'd be a bit more generous. 30 mils of jam and each 150 grams of donuts. So our first ratio is going to be 30 to 150. Now, we could simplify it, but we really don't need to. We're going to add that into 1,050 grams of donut that's left over. So she's run out of donuts. She needs to go to the store to get some more. She needs to know how much to get. So the same thing as before. We take our value here and we divide it. So we have 1,050 divided by 150. And that gives us 7. So we've multiplied 150 by 7 to get 1,050. We multiply the other side by 7, and that gives us 210 milliliters, because 7 times 3 is 21. Put a 0 on the end of it, that gives us our 210 milliliters of jam. Quite important to make sure that we include what we are measuring. Again, really should put it as an answer. Chloe will need to buy 210 milliliters of jam.